I did try to make a little bit of a comeback in weightlifting, and then ended up getting in a car accident, and rolled my car. I got 150 stitches staples in my head.
Holy shit, man.
You can probably see like some of the scar
Yeah,
there.
okay.
But it healed really well. But
150 staples.
150 stitches, staples, and sutures. So it was basically this whole part of my head, the skin on my skull was flopped back, and you could see like my whole part of the head.
Where did you flip it?
I flipped it off the highway, fell asleep in the morning driving, and it was after a long night. I won't go into all the details, but
I got you.
Drove off the highway.
Better decisions could have been made.
A lot.
All right.
There was a lot of it. The poor decision started at like 5 the day before.
Understand.
And so luckily I had a navigator, so it was like literally like a tank.
Yeah.
So it was the car was like an accordion with the exception of the cabin. So a smaller car would have been gone. I had 2 buddies in the car with me who obviously were asleep as well, and dozed off, and then woke up and in an ambulance. Whoa. And was in the hospital for a few days. Concussion, tore my labrum in my right shoulder, but I had got back up to 160, 200 in training about 2 weeks before the car accident. So I was, this was right after my 30th birthday, and I said, hey, I'm gonna make another little run. Because I think I took it easy, got my body kind of healthy, and then that sidetracked that. And then it was, after that I was at a pretty low spot because
how long did you notice like the concussion really beating you up?
It was hard to tell because they put you on the painkillers, so like you feel kind of loopy and out of it anyway. So you're on like Oxycontin for a few weeks, then they put you on Norcos and the Percocets and all that, so you're talking about several months of that. So I felt
you're cloudy anyway.
Yeah, so I'm cloudy anyway. And the crazy thing, so I missed 1 day of work. That was it. And so
you had your face reattached.
So they were cool with me. You're not supposed to wear a hat in there, so they let me come in with a beanie. But all the blood had settled into my eyes, and so I looked. My whole face was
purple.
Was a bruise. So I was like, I'm never gonna get promoted here. It looks like I got in a bar fight.
It's like the Edward Norton of Fight Club look. It just sitting in there in a cubicle like a maniac.
Yeah, but it's like I was raised to. It's like, hey, like if you can go to work, you go to work.
Yeah.
My dad had always worked 2 or 3 jobs, and it was just like, hey, if you can go to work, you go to work. And I'm like, I can either sit here and be sad, or I can go in and do my best to get the job done. And so that's what I did. I missed 1 day, and everyone thought I was crazy. Like, why didn't you take leave and all this? I'm like, well, I can work.
Yeah,
I said,
I need a thing to do.
Yeah, but I mean, to answer your question, as far as the concussion goes, it was hard to tell because after coming off the painkillers, then you get some depression from that.
Sure.
And it was I would say like definitely a few months where I didn't quite feel, it's hard to explain because
you don't feel you.
Exactly. So it felt like you don't feel like you're in your own body. It's like your body's present, but what you're like watching. I'm trying to think how to explain it. Like you don't feel present like in the moment.
See, that's always the feeling that I got from like opioids, like from painkillers and stuff like that with all the knee surgeries. Not that I disliked the feeling, but the feeling that opioids gave me was this, like, it's instead of me being here, I felt like I was here from where I actually am. Like I felt like I got to put a foot between me and like my eyes.
Yeah.
And so,
and just to kind of add to that story too. So like after this, so I was 30 when this happened, was making some other poor choices leading up to that, financially was living over my means, wasn't making that much money. And so, I'm single at the time. My face is fucked. I don't know. They shaved half my head.
So you got a good look going.
They shaved half my head. I couldn't do much upper body stuff because of my shoulder, but I was able to kind of work through it and still, get some stuff done. But so it was just like, oh my gosh. So you're talking about low. I'm just like, okay, like, and then on top of that, my bank account was negative $236.
Sick.
Which not many people even know that, with the exception of people super close. But now that, getting older, it's good to be like, hey, vulnerable and tell those stories so people can learn from it.
People need to learn from it.
And it used to be like, I don't want to I don't want anyone to know that and stuff because it's embarrassing.
But that's
now,
a nice thing at this age, right? Of being 37, 38, like I'm okay with the embarrassment of 25-year-old me because I needed to feel that. And that embarrassment was really important because it checked me.
Yeah.
And it got me on the path to this.
Yeah.
And I'm stoked on here.
Yeah. And so I kind of had those few months. It was around November, around like Thanksgiving of when the car accident happened. So I was kind of coming back to in February. And that's when I don't know if I want to call it an epiphany or whatnot, but it was kind of like, okay, like, what am I doing?